Good morning from Sweden. Today is the 28th of January 2026 and welcome to today's energy reading using the I Ching. We are asking the question, how does this hexagram want to move me today? And what does the energy look like? Or how are the energies around us today, and how do we best navigate them? So this is not a prediction, this is more of a reflection and a little bit of guidance on how to move through the day. But take what resonates and leave what doesn't, okay? So let's start with grounding ourselves and bringing us into this present moment, leaving old energy behind. So we do this by breathing in and out through the stomach. Into the stomach, you're feeling the stomach expand with each breath in, and it contract with each breath out, and it's expanding all the way around, all around the sides and to the back. You should even get a slight movement in the spine. As you breathe in, you're rising slightly. These are just micro movements. And as you breathe out, you're rooting into the seat below and your feet on the surface below, reaching into Mother Earth, like you're having roots growing out of the bottom of your feet. Grounding deep into Mother Earth. Yesterday we had lots of earthy energy. No, the day before yesterday. Yesterday was fire, but the day before yesterday was all earth. Mother Earth is coming here to protect us, wrapping her arms around us, nourishing us. Today was a day when we were guided to really look, to illuminate things, shine a light on what's going on around us and within us before making any movement. So let's start. So how does this hexagram want to move me today? And what are the energies around me? And how do I best navigate them throughout the day, please? Heaven, earth, fire, water, thunder, wind, wood, mountain, lake. So we're starting out with a stable force, stability, which is mountain. Mountain, we got it there. And mountain looks like this. And mountain has got two yins and one yang. Oops. So let's see how the upper part of this hexagram looks like, the outer gua. Heaven, earth, fire, water, thunder, wind, wood, mountain, lake. Heaven, and that's all yang. Okay, so we don't have to do anything there. Heaven. That's all yang's very, what's going on? This. And then like this. Okay, so we've got 4 yang and 2 yin. And now let's have a look at how things are changing for us. And exactly where we are in this. So let's have a look. We got down here, we got gen. 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 And how is this what is this changing into, and what are the most, where are we in the process of this hexagram? So second 6, third 9, fourth 9, fifth 9, sixth 9. So we're right at the end here, right at the top, and that one is turning into a yin. So it looks like this. We've got lake over mountain is what it's moving into, and then let's have a look at the approach gua. So that is starting with wind or wood. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 over. Kian, so which is heaven, under heaven, sorry. So we've got Dui and Kian. That's the approach. That's sort of what's hidden, what's not already here, what's not yet here, but it's really affecting us. It is also affecting us, not as strongly as today's. This is the energy of today. And this is some more clarity exactly where we are, more sort of which way we're heading. And this one is sort of more of bubbling underneath. So here we got, sorry, that's not Dui. Here's Dui. And this one is sun. So wind, wind under heaven. So lake over mountain. So it's got like a cloud. So there's wind under heaven. So it could be wood, but I think we've got wind, more of a wind here under heaven. Mountain under heaven, and then mountain under lake. So that's like some storm clouds really gathering. Lake essentially is water, right? Oh. So let's have a look at the hexagrams before we have a look at exactly what they are. So the first line is a yin line in a yang place. The second line is a yin line at a yin place. So this is correct. And then yang. This is yin at yang. Yang is correct. So we got the central are correct, right? So the central of each gua, which is the lower part, is the inner gua, and the upper part is the outer gua. So they're all central there, which leans a little bit of stability, this one, but it's only two, and two of these are corresponding as well. So let's have a look. So what I mean with that is it's got yin corresponding with yang, yin corresponding with yang. But there we've got two yang, but those are the top ones. So I'm just going to be interesting to see. So heaven over mountain. It's going to be interesting to see what that exactly is. So again, 33. I have a good feeling about this one. I don't know why. It feels like it's another step forward in our journey. And then what we're moving into is lake. Dui over mountain, which is 31. And what is approaching is Kian over Zun. Where do we have wind there? 44. I think we actually have a lot of new energies that we haven't had during our journey together. So let's have a look at 33. Retreat, yeah. And today definitely is a retreat day. Retreat. Retreat could mean, well, it's a retreat, right? You can retreat from something, or we can retreat into something. So if we're at war, for example, we can take a few steps back just to, get away from the onslaught, from the fighting or something. Or if we're like in a fight, we can retreat back just to sort of protect ourselves and to stop the fighting. Or we can just go into retreat, go into meditation, retreat from the world. retreat with it into ourselves, right? I don't think we should. To retreat from something is to protect yourself, and that should only be temporary. Like if you need to do this right now because you're in a situation that is not very good, then you need to retreat from it. Otherwise, you should retreat into yourself, and it shouldn't be something to run away from. Like a proper retreat that will actually bring absolute peace is to retreat into something rather than from something. But the first step we might have to take is to retreat from something. We're in a situation that is not very good, so we need to retreat from it to take ourselves out of that situation, because it's very taxing and very stressful and not very healthy situation, okay? And then let's have a look at what's coming next, which is 31, where we're moving into is mutual influence. Okay, let's have a look. Let's read that one. It's actually really mutual influence. I'm actually going to read it already now, although this is the one that we're moving into, but I'd like to read this one. So, after heaven and earth have come into existence, there are myriad beings. So this is what we're talking about. So we're coming here. I think this is the first, hexagram in the lower canon. So the upper canon, which is hexagram 1 to 30, it's describing coming into being, like how heaven and earth was created, and how something is created, how something comes into being. So, but now we're coming into the actual what happens afterwards, what we're doing with whatever we have created, right? So we're in the first hexagram in the lower canon. After heaven and earth have come into existence, there are myriad beings. After myriad beings have come into existence, there are male and female. After male and female are distinguished, there comes the relationship of husband and wife. After husband and wife have united together, there arrive father and son. After there are father and son, there come ruler and minister. After there are ruler and minister, there come high and low. After high and low exist, then etiquette can be appropriately practiced. Okay, this is about mutual influence. And in order to reach mutual influence, we need to have mutual respect for each other. And quite often we need like etiquette. We are being taught, right, how to behave in a way so we can actually cooperate with people. To create a smooth transition through life or create smooth situations where we're actually working together rather than against each other. But mutual influence is talking about giving and receiving. It's very important to make sure. If you just keep on giving and giving, that's not very good. Anyway, this is I just wanted to take this because this is actually not the main energy of today. But we are moving in, but it felt important to read that bit to start off with. And then 44 is encountering. That's what is sort of bubbling underneath the surface. And let's do the same here. After eliminating, surely there will be something to encounter. Thus, after eliminating, encountering follows. This is, I think it's a person. Qua denotes a couple, especially a married couple. Later it meant to pair or to copulate. It also meant good. The great treatise, one of the most important commentaries of the 10 Wings, says that gua is to meet or to encounter. Traditionally, it's understood as a meeting, an encounter between male and female. So this is a couple. So actually, mutual influence, encountering, which is a meeting, mutual influence. Okay, so the energies of today is to retreat. Actually, let's go to retreat and have a look at that. But we need to retreat. First to cultivate ourselves, so then we can make sure that in the future we are creating healthy relationships where we take place. So let's have this metal, done, and metal. And we need to create a place where we give and take, and that we value ourselves as much to make sure that we can take place. Because lately we've been walked all over a little bit. Not necessarily walked all over, but people have been trying to walk all over us. It's been a bit of an energy of bullying, and also this narcissistic energy. And it's very, very tiring. And this is not just in our life on a personal note. It's like a worldwide energy with this narcissist bullying energy. It just look at Minnesota, what's going on there right now. That's just big time bullying. It's terrible what the Trump administration is doing. But it's the same thing is happening in the UK, and the same thing is happening in Sweden, although it's not come that far yet. But we have the same type of leaders. We are following the same type of leaders. So it's just a matter of time, I think. And I think that goes for many countries around the world. And then when it's on the macro, in the big, large scale on the earth, this is also what's going on within us. And it's within us, and also just personally around us. And I certainly have that in my life. I have very narcissistic energies around me, and also which becomes other people are turning into bullies, although they're not naturally bullies. They're actually kind-hearted people, and they don't realize they do it. And this is what comes back to yesterday about brightness, or it's not brightness, it's number 30. It is brightness. To illuminate, like we had fire over fire, so we needed to illuminate what's really going on. We need to look at something, because when we have these narcissistic energies around us, everything becomes very distorted. It's one thing seems like one thing, but it's something else entirely. And we start doubting ourselves, thinking, oh my God, didn't I just say that? Or didn't I write that? It's just becomes a very distorted world. And most people will only see the surface layer and being fooled and tricked by this energy. And then the people who see through us are usually the ones who are at first suffering, because they are bringing it up to the table, and everyone else around them think that they don't believe them. And also trying to persuade the person who's bringing up this trouble into that, oh no, there is no trouble, there's no trouble. And this is where the bullying energy comes in, right? That they become bullies because they just become one after another, trying to convince this person it's wrong. And it's not very good energy. And in order to actually get rid of this energy is we need to retreat, to go within. Because everything starts from within, okay? So if we are pure within, and we have a still mind, we have a still spirit, we have a peaceful spirit, then this will also start to translate outwards. Although it might be complete chaos around us, we won't get so affected by it. Okay, so this is a retreat. So let's have a look at the actual text here. So done or dun is to hide, to withdraw or retreat, of course. So on the left is an ideograph from the remote past. 3 curved strokes represent 3 footprints moving forward. Underneath the 3 strokes is the tiny ideograph sheet meaning stop. These 2 ideographs create a picture of going forward and stopping abruptly. The ideograph on the right is complicated, consisting of 3 pictures: a little pig, I think there, a piece of meat, and a hand. That's the hand. So that can be the little pig, a piece of meat, I'm not sure. The little pig is cut into 2 portions, shown at the top and the bottom of the ideograph. Okay. In the middle, there is a piece of meat at the left, and the hand at the right. Okay, meat, pig, left, right, hand. Taken together is a picture of someone performing a sacrificial ceremony during retreat. Yeah. So this is what it is to go within. We might have had to take a step back from the situation just to retreat, just to take ourselves out of this really toxic situation, okay? But now we need to take, because we are out of it, at least for the time being, we need to cultivate ourselves inner peace, right, that we bring with us, right? So the situation when we have to step back into it, which we might have to, we are more peaceful and more balanced, okay? Things cannot abide long in the same place, thus after long-lasting withdrawal and retreat follow. Okay, so let's have a look. Retreat, prosperous and smooth, the little favourable to be steadfast and upright. So the little favourable to be steadfast and upright. So tiny moves. We're going into retreat. Take this opportunity now. Don't distract yourself with lots of noises. Just like, social media or TV or something. Because when we do that, we're being drawn out without ourselves, okay? And we're being drawn into the prefrontal cortex. And it's actually the subconscious we need to heal. Because in the subconscious is all our programming. So it comes from the beginning, like how we behave and how we react. And that the programming comes from how we've been treated in the past. And then so we're being taught how to respond and how to react and how to present ourselves and all these kind of things, right? This is just lies in the subconscious. We react from programming, and this is automatic. So, but in order to be able to start healing this and shift this around and start purify ourselves and leaving the past behind, whatever did serve us at that time, right, to protect us, which doesn't serve us anymore now, is just creating trouble for us or making life more difficult and bringing anxiety and just generally not feeling very good. This we need to release, and then we need to go within and realize that we are protected at all times. We really are. It might seem like a weird thing to sit and say here if you're in a situation where it's really, really difficult, and I don't doubt that you are. And yes, if you are in a dangerous situation, if you are in a toxic situation, if you're physically or mentally or whatever, retreat. Take yourself out of it. Do that. It's the first step. And then you need to go within when you are safe. Go within and start cultivating yourself, and then listen to your inner voice, because your inner voice is true, right? If something tells you this is something that is off here, then that is true, okay? You need to listen to that voice, and then to go within and retreat within and go into meditation and start listening to this voice. You can actually untangle what is really going on in your life, and then start cultivating yourself to be able to work through situations in a more peaceful state of mind. Because when you have that, your mind is much more clear and you can take correct steps forward. Okay, so this is where we are. Retreat, prosperous and smooth. Prosperity and smoothness lies in retreat. The firm is at the right place and properly corresponds. Yeah, so the firm is at the right place. So we're talking about the fifth nine here, which is the fifth line, which is called the fifth nine. There's a reason why they're called nines, the yangs, and the six, the yins. But I can't remember. I will look into that, and I will talk about that in another reading. So the fifth nine is central and correct, and it corresponds with the second six here, which is a yin and a yang, and they're both in the correct places. So yin in a yin place and a yang in a yang place. So that's very good. Okay. In accords with the time, the firm is at the right place and properly corresponds in accords with the time. So this is to retreat, clarify our mind, find peace, and then in time be the time to move forward. Right now it's not that time. Okay, now it's just to look after ourselves. The little, favourable to be steadfast and upright. It is advancing and growing. Great indeed is the significance of retreat at the proper time. Okay. Yeah, and this is what I was talking about. Sometimes you just have to do an external retreat, take yourself out of a situation at the right time, because it's just, you cannot stay in a place which is toxic or could even be physically or mentally dangerous for you. Okay, then it's time for a retreat to regroup, recuperate, and then go into retreat, which is a retreat within, and that's not a retreat from something, that's a retreat to something, which is the true essence of you. Okay. Commentary on the symbol mountain under heaven, an image of retreat. In correspondence with this, the superior person keeps inferior persons at a distance. The toxicity here, right? We're retreating away from it. We're going, there's only so much you can take. With dignity, but without ill will. Yeah. Okay, so this is very important, okay? Because strong boundaries is very important. But sometimes we have to retreat. So take ourselves out of something toxic. We mustn't be angry and hateful. Always with dignity. And always with that ill will. We don't want to be angry with people. We don't want to be hateful. We don't want to, say bad things about them or do, because then we become toxic. And if we are toxic, then we are toxic to ourselves as well. We become part of the problem. So, but we can definitely put a distance between ourselves and the toxic situation. Okay, very important. So let's have a look at the changing line, which is the top 9. Elegant retreat, nothing is unfavourable. Elegant retreat, nothing is unfavourable, no doubt at all. So this is definitely a good time to retreat. Step back. It's the day to just take a step back. And for me personally, I have taken a day off work today. I just said, I'm off. I've done so much overtime. I'm off today. What I need to do is actually tidy. I need to tidy my flat. I've started to pack things because I'm moving out of this apartment at the end of February. And then I'm moving into a life as a digital nomad for a while before I settle down somewhere further south in Europe eventually, is the plan. But my apartment, I've started to get rid of things and it's a bit messy. So I've taken time off. This is the reason I use, because tomorrow I have a viewing of the apartment. So I need to tidy up and put things away and then tidy the apartment because there's a viewing for the new tenant to come in. Okay. Let's have a look. So I have definitely gone into retreat. So, and I retreated from the toxic situation at work because it's not very good. Okay. So top 9, retreat alternates the mutual influence. The topmost line represents the end of a situation. There is no more space to advance and progress. It is beyond the position of a king. It represents a sage. Here one is free from bonds. He embraces the spirit of non-attachment, which is favorable in every aspect. Yeah, he embraces the spirit of non-attachment, which is favorable in every aspect. Okay, this is very important. Even where there is advance, there is still no bond. Okay, attachment is when we've been badly treated. For example, there are many, we can be have had a love story with somebody and they are leaving and we find it difficult. Or our children are moving out, they're growing up and moving out, we can have the attachment here. But at the moment to retreat, it's also this, that we have a toxic situation that we are in and we've been badly treated. But the attachment here is that we want to explain ourselves. Oh, no, this is wrong, right? And people are not listening. And this is with narcissist energies. And what I was talking about before as well, about the bullying, how people, actually good people, but are not very they don't see clearly, right? They have not used brightness, the fire to enlighten themselves and see the situation clearly. They are trapped in these narcissistic energies, and they become bullies because they're trying to convince you that you are wrong, who are lifting this problem, and then they want you to fall in line with everyone because they are not, you know, with them. And when you are lifting this problem, that this is a problem, and then that becomes bullying, because more and more people might come and going, oh, but hang on, no. It's like what this narcissist, although they don't know that it's a narcissist. It's right, we need to protect that person. But we get an attachment to wanting to explain. No, please understand, see what the situation is clearly. Look, right? And we become attached to that, trying to convince people that what they are seeing is just the surface layer, which is just an illusion. Within there is corruption, right? There's just corruption. It's not very good. It's decay, right? It's just a surface layer that looks really shiny. But we need to attach from that. Okay, there is nothing we can do. In these kind of energies, we can definitely, I'm not mean there's nothing we can do, but we can't keep on convincing people to say, look at this, because they're not going to see it. They're just going to completely ignore it because they are so brainwashed, to be honest, conditioned by this narcissist energy that they don't even want to, although you put it on the table, they're not. So the only thing you do for your own health is to attach from wanting to point it out, do that, and then find other ways to actually help the situation, or just leave. Seriously. Sometimes just leaving is the thing, but then also we also have these energies that we were talking about, that we need to get the people around us that we trust, who are not being influenced by this toxic energy, and then actually from there move forward, okay? So that's that. So let's have a look at mutual influence, and actually, yes, mutual influence, which is actually, again, talking about these connections, because it has to be a give and take. Mutual influence, let's have a look what energy that is, which that's metal as well. So it's a lot of metal. It's a bit back in the metal, the cutting away metal element, which retreat is to cut away what's in front of it, or what's sort of just in front of us, or what we're going through, right? It's to take a step back. And this mutual influence is also a metal. I'm just going to have a look at 44, just out of interest. Here we go, which is metal as well, encountering, so it's very metal. Metal element is associated with the lungs, and also the emotion of grief, and letting go, very much like cutting away, letting go of attachment. You should be the eye of the storm. It could be craziness going around you. You need to remain peaceful for your own sake and for others' sake, because if you are peaceful, then you can start to affect people around you positively by just your presence, okay? If you being drawn into this chaotic energy that's going on right now and becoming angry and resentful and all this, then you become part of the problem in a sense, right? Of course, you need to make a movement like the people in Minnesota who are out on the streets and they're demonstrating, protesting. Definitely do that, but don't come from anger, because then you might get in trouble with, you might cause, it might help to escalate the situation. Although it's very easy to have anger rise. And I've had that over the last few weeks. It's so much anger rising within me because of the situation I've been in, not being heard, and people trying to bully me into believing something that is completely wrong, right? And then bullying me after I'm raising a problem, which is obviously a problem, right? Because nothing is working, nothing is being delivered, it's just lies. I've been showing lies, right? Physically, but I've just been bullied into, they would try to bully me into getting in line, and I had to step down from the position I had. I go, I can't do this. If I am not in charge of this situation, who I'm working with, I cannot be the leader of this. So I stepped down actually a few weeks ago because of this. So I did take a retreat, yeah, because I listened to myself, because I know, okay? So this is about finding a common ground. And this could always be, even be with the ones that's in the toxic relationship with, or the toxic energies, right? Because you've got to remember, most people who are in this situation around you are not bad people. They're just duped. They're just fooled. They're just manipulated, okay, by this narcissist energy. So we need to find compassion for them as well, because they are helping this narcissistic energy to create this chaos. And it's not good. And eventually it will come back at them. So we need to find a common ground where we can work together, where we are being actually, this is very difficult. Here we need to cultivate ourselves as well, so we can become support to these people who actually bullied us. Although I'm not saying you should become, walked all over. If you are being walked all over, if they're trying to bully you, take a step back. Strong boundaries for you. Protect yourself. You have to protect yourself, okay? Very important. But then cultivate yourself, and then actually look at these people and thinking, rather than being angry with them, be compassionate and understand that they are being manipulated. They have no idea what's going on around them, okay? Okay, the structure of the gua is lake over mountain. Because a lake contains water, lake is bestowed with the attribute of sinking downward. It is obvious that the nature of a mountain is towering aloft. Lake over mountain presents a picture of one sinking downward and the other is towering upward. The mountain underneath affords the foundation for the lake, and the lake above supplies moisture to nourish the mountain. They mutually influence each other like a man and woman courting. Mutual influence is the main theme of this gua. Yeah. So find the common ground. It's very important. Not with the narcissist, forget that. Just keep that to side. But seriously, there is nothing you can do with that person, okay? Or those people, you can't convince them. But the people are being manipulated. So you need to find common ground, although they might actually be, without noticing it, harming you, or being part of the problems. You need to try to find some mutual influence here. Unless it's a very difficult, dangerous situation, then you just get out, okay? Look after yourself. But in order to sort of move forward in a good way, you need to find the mutual influence. So giving and taking. The situation is what it is. And right now, maybe you won't be able to leave this situation. Let's have a look at the commentary of the symbol. Lake on mountain, an image of mutual influence. In correspondence with this, the superior person opens his heart and mind to accept people without prejudice, okay? Compassion. Compassion towards the ones that are being manipulated, because they're victims as well, okay? So find a mutual way forward. And let's have a look quickly at encountering. So this is also talking about a meeting, and encountering and relationship with people. That we must have. Let's have a look at the decision here. Encountering, the maiden is strong, do not engage in marrying such a woman. The wind blows everywhere under heaven, encountering every being, should be an auspicious gua. However, there's only one yielding line and approaching the young elements. Okay, so we just had the one. When King Wen saw this happening, he heightened his vigilance. He realized that an unworthy person was worming his way into favor at the court. And this is what I'm talking about. What narcissists do, they do worm themselves into the favor of people, but they have no interest in anyone else, okay? Their only interest is their self-interest, is how they look and what they can get. They don't care about anyone else. Let's not be fooled here. They might seem, or they will seem, really friendly and very nice and very kind on the surface, but there is nothing, okay? We mustn't forget this, okay? So this is what's going in. The growing negative influences would displace good people one after another. Darkness and difficulties had been eliminated, but the negative influences had not totally faded. These influences were permeating different areas. One must be beware of this tendency and take prompt precautions against possible misfortune. And this is exactly what's going on in my life, right? I had to step down from a position because it's just too toxic, and I had good people trying to bully me, right? Because of this energy that is, and when this type of energy comes in to anyone's life, it actually spreads. It's like cancers. You get one cancerous cell and then that spreads like cancer. It does. And people are not aware, because most people are not very aware, okay? So it does. And this is what's going on in our lives now and in the universe as well. There's like, we are allowing the toxicity to come into, we need to cut it as soon as possible. So although things looks really good on the surface, it isn't. We've got this energy that is really toxic, okay? So we need to... but Confucius' commentary will shed light on the positive side. So the commentary, let's have... Encountering, meet someone unexpectedly, the yielding counters the firm. Do not engage in marrying such a woman, okay? This is not a good person, it means, okay? Do not engage with them. The union cannot last very long, so this is only going. So when heaven and earth meet, all creatures are fully displayed. When the firm meets the central and the correct, his aspiration will be fulfilled under heaven. Great indeed is the time and significant of encountering. Okay, this is when we're starting to see well, we've seen it, right? But it will eventually, this is bubbling underneath, okay? It is going to come up to the surface rather sooner than later. But, so remain steadfast and upright and cultivate yourself, work on yourself. And today, retreat, okay? Take a step back. Find your inner center, find your inner peace is very important, okay? Yes, so that's the reading for today. I hope it was of benefit, and I'm wishing you a beautiful day ahead, and maybe see you tomorrow again. Look after yourself.